Hey guys, this is Thanatos and today we are doing the Curse City of Sintranos walkthrough part 6. So, we will begin with stage D16. What do we need for this stage? We need block buffs, block debuffs of course, because this stage contains a lot of nasty debuffers. We need maybe a team attack if we can for UDK of course, which is on the second wave. What else? We could use some strong AoE DPS if it's not possible to go and override UDK's passive. And what else? Of course, as we say always, we need good crowd control, and in this particular stage you can use Helicath too, so if you are having troubles with your damage and the enemy's damage, you can use her block damage and you will not have any troubles at all. Let's see the champions that we can use now. We can use Missinaki, which is an insane debuffer and insane crowd controller. You can use Helicath, which is very good both in AoE DPS, in single target DPS, and has block damage and shield, which she attacks, she protects just as the meme. So what else? We have Kyoku here, which is a very nice protector for your team. You have Drextar, which is a free to play legendary, and with his AoE burn and his provokes, he will be able to help you in this fight. Buranjiri of course with his AoE stun. You have Padma, you have Umbral Enchantress, which is one of the best epics when it comes to crowd control. White Right Nia of course. You can even use Fellhound if you want in this stage, because for me Fellhound is my campaign farmer. So if you have him on a good gear, he will be able to make some decent damage on the Sintranos stage 2. You could use Firul too. Flanan is a very good team attacker as a rare, just to override UDK's ability. What else? And that was basically all the champions that were worth mentioning. Maybe Tarson if you have him made, and of course Akoth the Seared, but many people choose to not build these champions and that's why I'm not suggesting them to you. So let's go with this team. Let's see the fight now. So for wave number 1 we have Theodore the Savant, Gaius, Calvalax, Stormlord and Pestilus. So as I said before, you need block debuffs here. You might need a cleanser if you are having problems with the first poisons in this wave, but to be honest I don't think that you will have. So the best way to fight this wave is crowd control them, apply block debuffs on you if you can't crowd control them, and firstly kill Theodore the Savant, then go for Gaius Gleeful, and then go for Calvalax and Tomlord. And that was it guys, basically. This wave don't have any decent tanks, so I don't think that you will have any problems facing it. Wave number 2 now, we have Ultimate Death Knight, we have Crypt King Graal, Blood God, Saito and Seeker. So this wave does have some decent tanks on it. So what I suggest to do, try to crowd control the enemy wave, because Blood Gods will try to do some nasty stuff in your team. You don't want Seeker to be provoking too or increasing the enemy turn meter. So first go for UDK, then go for Blood Cork, and then you can go for Seeker. Did you guys see the damage that Fellhound did AoE? It's not a champion to sleep on. So wave number 3, we have Maranix, Astralith, Ruel, Chromax and Fan Cleric. This wave is not particularly dangerous for you. If you have some good crowd control, if you have some decent DPS, you will not have any problems at all. Target Astralith first, then go for Maranix, Ruel, Chromax and in the end kill the epic. And that was it guys, that was stage D16. Let's go on the next now. So guys, we are on stage D17 and we are facing Iragoth. What do you need for this fight? You need some block debuffs for your team, You need a resetter on your cooldowns of your team if it's possible with high resistance on this champion. What else? You could use some decreased defense, weaken of course AoE, and a team attacker could be very good too. Of course you can use turn meter manipulation for your team to attack faster, because you want to be faster than this boss and apply all the debuffs and your serious hitters first before he takes turn, and then he resets your cooldowns. So let's see the champions that we can use. You can use Elva here, which is a very good champion for this particular boss. You can use, if you have her of course, Venus, which applies 2 or 3 of the best debuffs in the game. King Galcobar is another champion that you could use here. Corvus the Corruptor is a very good poisoner. Martyr is a very nice champion because he will apply counter attack in your team, decrease defense, decrease attack on the enemy team, even provoke. Steel Skull is a very nice epic. You have White Ride Nia, which you could use with high resistance if you are having problems on this stage, of course. High resistance on White Ride Nia so that she will be able to resist the lockout of her abilities, and then she can reset the cooldown of one of your key champions for this fight. Deacon Armstrong would help you go first and apply the AoE decreased defense that you are going to need. So what will we choose for this fight? You have good team attackers here. You have Lannan, you have Padraig of course, which is one of the best champions in the game right now. And if you are able to have him, Cardiel will be the solution in all your problems in every stage that you can use him. So let's go like this. So this boss has 2 sides of the fight. First, if you have enough DPS and you have applied the right debuffs and buffs on your team, you can just choose to focus only the boss and ignore his minions. Now, if you are having problems with your DPS, try to focus his minions first, kill the blue one, then go for the other 2, and then slowly you can apply the damage that you can on the boss. Now, if you are facing problems with this boss, this is how you want your team to be looking at before he fights. Full of buffs, and you have the debuffs on the enemy, you are ready to do some serious damage. Now, as you can see, guys, there was no time at all in this fight that we were in danger, because we had a lot of buffs, we have some good stats on our builds, and we had some good debuffs on the enemy team. Now, if you are having problems, I believe that it is wise for you to bring a good healer here with high resistance, of course, but if you have Deacon Armstrong, he will apply the Leech debuff on the enemy boss just as you see here, and you will be able to slowly heal. I don't really think that this boss has the damage to one-shot you, has the damage to make you feel that you are in danger, so you will be able to pass this stage easily, just as I did. So that was stage D17. Let's go on the next one now. So guys, we are on stage D18 now. Now, this is quite a tricky stage, because this stage has Mortumakab, it has Duchess, it has Fusan, Krokmar, it has some champions that can really hurt your team, and it has some awesome protectors for the enemy team. So, what we need here, we need block buffs, block debuffs, very good crowd control for Mortumakab, provoke, stun, sleep, works very good, or even turn meter manipulation could work here too. So what else? You need good crowd control, as I said, and you need some good and solid single target hitters, or if you have Trunda, Trunda here will be your savior. So let's see what champions we can use. We have Trunda, as I already said. You have Mountain King, which is a very good solution where you want a single target nuker. You have Geomancers here, which with their burn, with their passive, and with their turn meter manipulation can really help this fight. You have Skull Crown, which is a very good wave killer. What else? You have Zargala, which is another very good wave killer. If you have Faceless, make him see my guide. He can even one-shot Taras, Harima, Mariska, everything. I have this on a video on my channel. Build him, he will be your solution when it comes to very high single target nukes. And of course, Gala Longbridge is another epic that can nuke a single target hitter and get an extra turn. She is a very nice champion. Now, if you happen to have Gaius, Gaius with his bombs and his sleep will really help you with this stage. So, let's pick our champions and see the fight now. So, for wave number 1, we have Duchess Lilitu, we have Kandrafon, Mortumakab, Drexthar and Tarson. This is a very old school wave, this is a very hardcore wave. So, what I suggest to do, crowd control the hell out of the enemy team. Maybe if you don't have an AoE crowd control, at least try to crowd control Mortumakab. Now, if you happen to have a very good single target nuker, just get rid of him as soon as possible. Then go for Duchess, of course, and Kandrafon, and the other two will not be of trouble at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, Drexthar is not a bad champion, but he isn't in any way, shape or form on the same levels as Mortumakab, Duchess and Kandrafon. So let's see wave number 2. We have Fusan, Krokmar, Roxanne, Basatha and Drake. So this wave might not seem like it's dangerous wave, but it has AoE stuns, it has weaken, it has defense down, it has another stun with Fusan, it has good DPS, good solid AoE DPS, so be careful with this wave too. What I suggest that you do is try to crowd control Fusan and Basatha, because Basatha will try to protect its team and AoE stun you. Fusan will try to apply some good solid nukes on your enemy team and again try to stun you. So those two should be your primary targets. Then go for Krokmar and then go with Roxanne. So guys, wave number 3. We have Drokul, War Mother, Shamrock, Bigun and Ugo. Again, this is not a bad wave. The first thing that you do is get rid of Ugo, because if she is the last man standing, she will apply a block damage buff on her, and if she has the cooldown on her ability, she will revive the full enemy team. So what I like to do, get rid of Ugo first, then go for Shamrock, then go for Bigun, and the other two will not be a problem at all. So that was stage D18. Let's go on the next one now. So guys, we are on stage D19. So what are we going to use for this stage? You definitely need some block debuffs here because they have Duke, Artak, they have Martyr too. So block debuffs. Block buffs, of course, if it's possible. Solid crowd control as always. And maybe you need a reviver. Maybe you can use the block damage again with Helicath. You need solid AoE DPS, and maybe if that's possible, even with some single target nukes you can do the trick. So let's see the champions that we can use. Duchess Lilitu. Whenever you can use this champion, you don't even need to have any damage. The way that she can protect your team, revive your team, she is a crazy tank. Slowly you can burn them, slowly you can poison them, you can do whatever you want. We have Iron Brago here, which is a champion that many people choose to ignore. I don't know why. His passive is amazing. He provides a good solid defensive bonus for your team just with his passive. He has a very good toolkit when it comes to crowd control and protecting your team. And bonus, he has some good solid AoE and single target DPS. You could use Helicath too. Magnar is an insane epic damage dealer champion. He has one of the highest multipliers for the HP hitters of this game. You have Krokmar too. You have Verumkar. What else? Even Nogdar the Headhanger can be used here. If you have Gorlos for your Sun Devil, as I have already made a team, if you check on my channel in the videos for the Sun Devil, you could use Gorlos too. So what will we choose here? We will definitely choose to go with Krokmar. So let's see the fight now. So for wave number 1 we have Artak, Robar, Duke the Pierced, Grohak the Blooded and Krilla. For this wave, if you are not fast enough and you can't crowd control them, I suggest that you bring block debuffs for your team because it's very necessary. They have a lot of debuffs on their arsenal. So what I suggest to do with this wave is first kill Krilla, then go for Duck, then go for Artak, and the other two will not be any trouble at all. Wave number 2 we have Martyr, Corvus, Holstring, Archbishop, Pinthroy and Mordecai. So for this wave again I suggest that you have block damage for your team, some good AoE nukers and crowd control of course. Now if you don't have AoE crowd control, just try to crowd control Martyr and Archbishop in Troy. Kill Martyr first, then go for Archbishop in Troy. Then personally I would go for Holstring and Corvus the Corruptor. So let's go wave number 3. Black Knight, Lord Samford, Septimus, Lugan the Steadfast and Elfric. So this wave is not dangerous at all. It has some annoying tanks that will try to delay the fight of course for you. No problem though. If you bring some cooldowns, you bring your crowd control, you bring some block debuffs, some defensive buffs, you will not ever be in danger from this wave. I suggest that you kill maybe Black Knight first, then go for Lord Samford, Lugan the Steadfast and Septimus, and the other guy will die, no problem at all. If you manage to pass the other two waves, you will never have a problem with this last one. So that was it, that was stage D19. Let's go on the next one now. So guys, we are on stage D20 and for this stage you are going to need some good solid turn meter manipulation if that's possible of course. good crowd control, maybe block buffs for the enemy team if you happen to have any, and a good buff stripper. So let's see the champions that we can use. We can use Madame Charis, which is one of the absolute buff strippers of this game. You can use Cardinal if you are having problems and your champions die in this stage. She is a very good reviver. Apply a 210 stone skin set on her and you will see her doing miracles. You can see CY Fistborn here. You can use Samael, of course, with some solid single target DPS. Let's add him on our team. You could use Dark Isle too if you have him on a nice set. Deacon Armstrong, of course, and we always choose to use Sylar because she is one of the best turn meter manipulators as an epic in this game. Now, if you have good Kaels, good Coldhearts, even some good Judges and Berserkers, Soulbound Boyer, of course, and War Maiden are a very good solutions for this stage as rares. Unfortunately, they don't add us some good conditions for epics or legendaries, but we have some of the best rares in the game. You will not have any trouble at all with this stage if you have those rares equipped with a good set. So let's see the fight now. So for wave number 1 we have Yannica, Lona Tharil, Sirimani, Basileus, Romanas and Skeuramis. Now this wave in particular, it's not very dangerous. If you have some crowd control, try to crowd control Yannica, Sirimani and Lona Tharil, because Lona Tharil might try to use his team attack on your team. Sirimani will try to freeze you and so on and so on. So the first champion that I like to remove from this stage is Sirimani. Then go for Lona Tharil, and then if you are done with those two, you can target Yannica. So, wave number 2, we have Opardin, Jetni, Alsgor, Altan and Vala. This wave is very dangerous. Do not leave Alsgor and Jetni play because they will start to applying block damage buffs on their team. They will do some serious damage on your team. So, try to crowd control Alsgor and Jetni slowly or fast. Of course, kill them and then go on the next champions. Now, as you can see, just by having Deacon Armstrong and Sylar here, we have a fully control of their turn meter and we can do whatever we want with their turn. So, we are going to wave number 3. What do we have here? We have Hakon, Cleopteryx, Warchief, Norog and Reaper. So, this is a wave that has both tanks, have cleansers, healers, they have some solid DPS and they even have crowd control. So, if it's possible, crowd control them, kill Hakon first because he is a champion that will remove all of your debuffs and will heal the enemy champions and you will feel like you haven't done any progress with this wave at all. So kill Hakon first, then go for Cleopteryx, Norog, Warchief and in the end you can deal with Reaper. As you can see, we have Sylar here on stun set and Not only she turn meter manipulator, she apply some debuffs and she has AoE stun on her kit if you have her on a stun set. One of the best champions to have on stun set, Sylar. As you can see, we already done with hack on Smash Lord and now the fight will be a lot easier for us. So that was stage D20, it wasn't really hard. Let's go on the next one now. So now we are facing stage D21, it's Tainted Hellraiser, another boss of this area. What do we need here? If it's possible, have some ally protect, have some block debuffs for your team, you need burn, you might need some weaken, some decreased defense, what else? So let's see the champions that we can use. You can use Arbiter here, which is always good if you want to go first and have multiple turns against the enemy. You can use Tag Knight, which has decreased defense, decreased attack and decreased speed. You can use Steel Skull for the poisons and the healing that he provides. What else we have here? Oh, you can use Tatura, which is the champion that will apply the block debuffs for your team. Let's see. From what I see, we don't have some solid DPS here for this stage, but no problem, it's just Tainted Hellraiser. You can use Gist card, of course, and let's go Warcaster if you want some block damage here. You can use Tyrell, which is a very nice champion when you are facing single target bosses, and even Chronicler Adeline. If I had her prepared, I would just bring her just for the fun of it. So let's use Steel Skull and see the fight now. So how to defeat this boss? Just apply block debuffs in your team, apply the debuffs that you need on the enemy boss. On Dragon, remember the particular debuff that is very important for you is decrease attack, because when he focuses his spell, he can do some good solid DPS. And now we have no problems at all. When we apply the block debuffs and the increased defense from Tatura, the fight is already over. It's just a matter of time till the dragon dies. And that was it, guys. That was stage D21 Tainted Hellraiser down. Let's go on the next one now. So guys, we are on stage D22. What do we need for this stage? We need block buffs, block debuffs, solid crowd control if that's possible, because the enemies have Trunda, they have Pythion, and we need to be able to at least turn meter manipulate them so that they won't be able to take turns, and some single target DPS would be very good for this stage. So let's see the champions that we can use. You can use Ugo, of course, which is an incredible champion. She can apply an AoE decreased defense and a block buff, so she is a solution for this stage. You can use Skullcrown and Sinessa, which, let's face it, when you have 2 or 3 copies of them in the fight, the waves go and melt just like that, as simple. So let's see what else we can use. If you are having problems with the fight and you need a healer and a reviver, Rector Drath is here for you. You can use Venomage, of course, if you have the right amount of defensive buffs and protectors for your team and you just need to melt them down with poison. Grass the Mangler, miscreated monster for some AoE stance and protection for your team. And let's see what else. You can always use Doom Priest if you are having problems with the debuffs that the enemy provides to you. So let's see the fight now. Who cares for the aura, man? Come on. So, wave number 1. We have Pythion, Roxam, Dracomorph, Necmothar and Zil Itchy. So, what do we need here? Try to crowd control Pythion, Necmo and Dracomorph if that's possible, because you don't want Pythion to apply block debuffs on the enemy team, being reviving here and there and healing the enemy team. So, first kill Pythion, then go for Necmo and then go for Dracomorph. And that's of course if it's possible. If it's not possible and you have some good solid AoE DPSers, kill everyone. Wave number 2, we have Trundagit Mallet, we have Gnat, Mountain Kim, Hundik and Filza. So for this stage, again, if you have some good crowd control, try to crowd control Trunda, Mountain King, Gnat and Hundik, because they have some solid damage, they have some crowd control. Hundik will try to apply some decreased emitters on you. The same issue is for Gnat. He will try to apply an AoE weaken in your team. You do not want to have to face all those debuffs for your team. Now, who to kill first here? Go for Trunda, Gnat, Hundik and Mountain King. So, let's see, wave number 3, we have Cupidus, Gilsea, Abbes, Errol and Inquisitor Samael. Now, on this stage, try to crowd control Cupidus, try to go for Gilsea, then firstly kill Cupidus, go for Samael because he is an annoying champion to face, Gilsea, maybe Errol and in the end you can face with Abbes too. And that was it, guys, that was stage D22. Let's go on the last stage for the day now. So guys, we are on our final stage for the day. It's stage D23, an awakened stage, and its condition are magic champions from this faction. So let's see what we need here. Block buffs, block debuffs, crowd control, of course, as always. You need some solid DPS, and if it's not possible for you to have all this, you can use your reviver, which is White Queen Ancora, that many people have on 5-star blessing. So let's see the champions that we can use now. We can use Lady Kimi, of course, Corvus, which is a very nice champion. You can use Arix, that when you see Arix, pick her, guys, build her. She is an insane champion, AoE DPS, stun, crowd control, protection for the team. She has everything. What else do we need here? We need, let's say, we could use White Queen Ancora, and let's go for Astralon. No, we won't use White Queen Ancora because she doesn't have any blessing on her. So we will go for Ninja. You could use Miscreated Monster, you could use Gaius the Gleeful. For this stage, because the conditions are like that, I will not be talking for many champions because what matters here is how many blessings that you have. So let's see the fight now. So, for wave number 1, we have Juliana, Romero, Sethalia, Giscard and Lady Quillen. Now, if you have some good crowd control, you will not have any problem at all. Go for Giscard and Sethalia, kill Sethalia first, Giscard second, and then you will be able to have this wave done, no problem at all. So, wave number 2, we have Lua, Royal, Kaiden, Thenasil and Luithea. So, as I always say, focus the reviver first, so go for Kaiden, then maybe go for Lua, Royal Huntsman and Luithea. Tenasil is not really a trouble at all. And finally, wave number 3, we have Geomancer, Frenzy, Samson, Flester and Rockbreaker. So for this wave, avoid hitting Samson with critical hits if he is not crowd controlled, because he will counter and he will stun you. Go for Geomancer first, then I would personally go for Samson if you have him on crowd control, then Rockbreaker, and the fight is already done. As you can see, Samson is a very annoying champion to face. So that was it. The Curse City of Sintranos walkthrough part 6 has already ended. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.